Hey there YouTube, Mr. Fedora Man here. This is Chapter 14. Yes, Chapter 14, Father and Son. If you didn't get that from the start. Yeah, so this is an interesting chapter. This is the one that I was talking about before that had the druids near the top with the frickin' berserk staff. Now, those things are annoying as all hell, and I had a terrible time with them the last time I played. But actually, in this part, I didn't have a very tough time. They only used it once, and it missed. So I'm very fortunate to have that happen, considering it could have put me at quite a standstill. But no, they were just derping around. I don't know if maybe it had to do with the fact that I wiped out every other unit on the map. I have no idea. So, this chapter was since it didn't have those freaking berserk staff people, or since it only were used once, it was actually a really fun chapter, I'll say that. Those kind of stabs make it kind of rude. And as you can see, there's a lot of treasure here. Now, I was going to pick up Renak, actually, now that I should mention that. I was going to pick up Renak, but I didn't reach him in time. And I didn't bring Lara Shell because I was like, okay, well, I don't even really care about Renak, so I'll just kill him, and I'll take the member card. But then I realized halfway through that there is only one item that's lootable upon death. And that is the one item, that's the current, or that's the last item, I believe, in their inventory. So, that means as soon as he steals something, the member's card becomes completely his, and the only other way to get it is to recruit him. So, it kind of flubbed it up. That I'm not afraid to admit. I fucked that up. I honestly did. So there's no member card now, but it doesn't quite matter, because we're going to chapter, only after chapter 16. Unless you guys want to see the end of the game with this party, but I'd rather move on to bigger and better stuff. So this map was interesting in the fact that there are a shit ton of reinforcements, like holy hell. But the thing is, they're all of the same type, so if you can deal with one of them, you can most likely deal with the other ones, and it won't be a big problem. Now, I'm trying to think here. Oh, I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. I brought Molder. So, like, I have a healer on each side. As you can see, I have Arthur on the left side and Molder on the right side. And I brought Molder, and I gave him the barrier staff, because the barrier staff, I don't think it doubles your resistance, but it increases your resistance to magic. So I figured, well, why not give it a go, because if I'm going to be sending a unit my original plan was to send a unit in the path of the Berserk Staff, and then have them just out of the distance of Molder, so that the next turn Molder can go and use the Restore Staff on them. That was my plan. Now, I didn't need to use that plan, because during this chapter, this only gets used once, and it's on the left side. The other one they just didn't care. They're like, whatever, man, I'm not going to use the Berserk Staff. So I was quite happy about that, because that means I didn't have to worry about that. I just had to go in there, wipe them out, and then move on. So yeah, we got axe guys on the left, lance guys on the right. I think there's swords on both sides. There's lances in the middle. But further up left, there are a whole crap ton of mages, and further right up, there are a bunch of shamans. So, yeah, it's good to bring a magic unit with you. Oh, and there's also archers, as you can see. Most of the ones that are inside those kind of little areas up top there have longbows, because they can't go anywhere else. They're stuck there. So, if they didn't have longbows, what you could do is just funnel all your units through the middle, where that one swordsman is, and you would just be able to get through the entire thing without being attacked by them. And since they have longbows, they have that one extra space, and that one extra space does make the difference, as they can attack they can attack you from the middle and to the far right, and then there's the other archer on the left side, so that if you move to the left side, he can attack you. So they do plan these out fairly well, with how the units are placed. It's more or less your job to get around them and figure out how to move past these enemies and take them down without being extremely hurt. Which is what I like about this game. And just Fire Emblem in general. If you've got the enemy pattern set up, you've got to take your own countermeasures to do things, and you've got to make sure that all your units are up to par with it. It's always nice when a plan comes together, though, too. I'm actually getting really close to the end of this. I already finished this chapter, and then I've got chapter 15, which is Johanna, which is outside in the sand. And then chapter 16, I don't quite know what that one is. That could possibly be the one where we have to fight Leon in the swamp. I'm hoping that's not the one, because that's certainly going to be an interesting last part. Because that one's kind of difficult. Leon is he's a tough customer. He doesn't afraid of anything. That, just plain and simply put. Yes. See, right here, Renak took the spear. So now the spear is his droppable item, and the member's card is now completely his. So that was the problem, because now it's like, well, shit. Doesn't matter if I kill him, because I'm only going to get the spear. And I didn't bring La Rochelle because I thought he was going to, like all thieves, take a little bit of time to get into the castle. But nope, second turn shows up. He takes some shit, leaves. Honestly, stuff that I'm not really concerned about. He takes the spear, which doesn't really matter to me at this point. And I believe the only other thing that I would have liked to keep if I could have moved up quicker was the angelic robe on the left side that he took. Because that's useful. I believe that's either 7 or 8 plus anywhere between 1 to 7 or 1 to 8 hit points added onto that unit. And that can be very nice depending on if some of your units have very, very, very poor health. And with some of them, that's not the case. Like Nemi, she's got 50 HP, the max is 60. But the thing is, she doesn't have as good as defenses, so physical attackers can do quite a fair amount of damage. And here, I was like, you know what? Let's use, is it Reagan Leaf? Ronald Reagan Leaf. I'm not sure. I only saw it for half a second. And this is post-commentary, so I can't exactly stop to check. Doesn't matter. That one spear, this specialized spear's preferred one, or lance, should I say, for Ephraim, is good against cavalry and knights. So I figured, well, we're up against 3 knights, might as well throw that up there. There actually is a promotion in this well, not this episode, but this chapter. So I think it's I don't think it's the next part, but I think it's the one after that, I believe. And we get a little action from Colm here. We actually get to see what the rogue animations look like. And since I believe he's only level 1, we don't have to worry about it. Get Gilliam to do some damage. This is where things take a turn for the interesting here. I was like, this guy's using a hammer, which is effective against knights. And I'm like, you know what? We got the hammer. I don't use an axe all that much, so let's get rid of the axe and stick. Or was it the vulnerary? No, it was the okay, so it was the axe that I got rid of, because the hammer is effective against knights, and there are 3 knights ahead of Gilliam. So I was like, you know what? Why not? Just do it. Why not? You gotta learn to adapt. You gotta go with the flow, as they say. Like, look at that. There's tons of knights. And this is where things got a little dicey. Fortunate for me, Colm was good enough to dodge, which made me happy in my face. Because moments like that can get scary. That's why putting units on this side was on either side was difficult, because the reinforcements would show up and you wouldn't know where they would show up or how many of them, which they can easily follow up with a counterattack like this. But I was, in my good fortune, I was able to avoid all of that. Oh yeah, so some knights and swordsmen show up. And all the center knights have keys to the doors, so that you can get in there with easy access without having to resort to using a rogue, which I believe I did have to use comb for something. I can't quite remember. It's further on in the chapter. It's when I go after those 3 chests in the middle, one of which holds a promotional item, or a promotion item, not a promotional item. Some promote any, well, it's units. Damn it, freaking in a word war. Anyways, equip the hammer on Gilliam. Here was a little bit of a decision. I knew that Ewan had, I think, 2 spots open in its inventory, so I was like, you know what, I might as well use him instead of Ross. Ross could easily kill this guy, but he doesn't have the space for the door key, and I don't want to put the door key in the supply, because then I have to bring Ephraim back. So I just decided Ewan would get the door key, and we just get him to open it up. Now those staircases you can see in that room are sometimes strange. Sometimes they hold reinforcements, sometimes they don't. In this case they do, which means that 2 units every turn for a couple of turns will show up, and they are both, they're shamans. So yeah, that was fun to deal with. I mean, shamans are very powerful. I mean, don't get me wrong, any unit can take out any unit given the right circumstances, but nope, not this one. See, I'm getting more. I was doing more risky stuff with Joshua because he actually has a quite a bit of HP. I was like, why not? Also, I think what I was saying before about the silencer, I think that purple thing in the background means the silencer ability worked. Because I've seen Joshua do criticals before, and those criticals were different. It was slightly different than the silencer one. So I just kind of went on a limb and said, why not? Let's go with that. Say that that's how they work. Also, I don't know about everyone else, but it is freaking hot as hell here. Holy sweet Jesus Christ. I have a fan going right now in the other room. Cool the place down. I'd rather be cold, honestly, because then I can just go outside and warm up because it's warm. But if I'm hot and I go outside, it's hotter again, so I just get even hotter, and there's no cure for that except for coldness. I probably didn't make a lot of sense there. I think I have heat stroke. I don't know. But yes. We're coming up on the end of this part. We've got about a minute or so left. It's a little bit exciting. Get some magical going on here. Some magical. I decided to switch to the Shine book, because, why not? So the lightning's very low, and it's not as powerful. And we need all the power we can get in these coming chapters, and I can just go buy Shines anyway, so it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Gonna have to, like, frickin' soak my head under the tap or something, I don't know. Freaking hot outside, holy shit. Well, anyways, I'm gonna wrap up my commentary here, and I will see you in the next part where we will continue on through the Grotto Capital. So, this is Mr. Fedorman, signing off. Bye.